You're listening to 1069 Click FM, live in color.
Sorry, Angie, I had to disturb you in the midst of your intricate cleaning ritual to shove your leg on screen. Yes, that is exactly what I was doing. Because you were screaming at me for 30 minutes about how Brian Branch will never throw as many touchdowns as Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love. She has decided she's a Packers fan for today, purely out of spite because I wouldn't let her out. I did see that, Logan, that the Brewers have officially won the NL Central. I saw the trade yesterday about Damian Lillard. However, I do have a point to bring up for everybody who's saying that, who matters about defense when the Bucks are going to score 160 a game. Have all the years that LeBron James was with Cleveland trying to drag a team to a championship by himself just kind of faded out of your brains? Because I remember how many people whose names I never recognized or even heard of on the Milwaukee Bucks the summer that they clawed their way through to a championship, including Drew Holiday. And now that Drew Holiday is gone, I would be surprised that these fuckers ship away Chris Middleton next. They seem to be thinking all they need is Giannis and a few big more names, and that's enough to take care of it. Yeah, when you lose your big sponsors and your big names, and you know that you don't have anybody else who's going to be even worthy enough to replace them, why? I think Portland is the bigger winner to come out of this deal, to be honest. Middleton stays? You say that now, Luke. You say that now. My other question for you, Logan, although I doubt you will answer this seriously because I caught you officially declaring yourself trolling and I no longer trust you. Would the Brewers actually drop games to the Cubs so that they can be assured of playing them instead? Or would they actually try to win so they can have a better chance of beating the Marlins, who have done worse in the second half of this series? Oh, and Ishii is lurking in the background as well. Hello. Hope you're doing well, Ishii, and everybody who's arrived here on this odd midday episode of Ass Talk, which, for those of you who may have wanted in here, it's a little sports talk show that doesn't go any longer than it needs to and tries to get to a few little moments of truth through all the noxious clouds of sports prognostication. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Miami is also there. That is all we can say about Miami at the moment. Meanwhile, the Marlins are still in the wild card spot. I don't know how they're doing it. They've been battling back this entire season after falling apart after the All-Star break. I don't get it, but I do remind you all that Major League Baseball playoffs are beginning, so pretty soon we will have one less sport to worry about. And if anybody has any early requests for series that they want me to keep track of, let me know in the comments. It might be a little tough for me to keep track of them here. XFL and USFL merger seemed inevitable. I don't know if they're really going to follow through on this whole premise of trying to be a feeder league for the NFL. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, expect them to try again in 20 years when this iteration fails. Any score predictions on the Isotopes Cheesehead game? I don't have any score predictions yet, although I do want to just throw the meat out there that I have put back up my usual bet with Mr. Tom Grossi. So if the Packers win, this will be on my head through all my streams until the end of the next Thursday night football game. And of course, if the Packers lose, then he has to put Lerald back on his desk. But for a brief moment, I will talk about Lions-Packers game that's going to be coming up tonight. I heard this morning while I was doing my usual writing session in the little hipster coffee shop that I go to on a regular basis that Jair Alexander is apparently out for tonight's game. If anyone can confirm that shifts my entire view of how this could play out. I was already nervous about Christian Watson and Aaron Jones coming back, and they have been confirmed that they will play for tonight's game. And I knew that was going to test our secondary and our defensive backs. Meanwhile, Jair is listed as doubtful. Ooh, that's rough. Meanwhile, I was terrified about the state of our interior offensive line. Ragnow is still listed as questionable for tonight, and seeing Rashawn Gary go on that tear last week against the Saints. Well, knowing that the Packers fans are afraid of Aiden Hutchinson just as much as I'm afraid of Rashawn Gary. Your main nerve if y'all are on the 3-game win streak over us? I don't know, man. I would have been much more confident in this matchup if we still had C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Emmanuel Mosley, but Gardner-Johnson's out for the season. Emmanuel Mosley is still listed as out for this game, so between us, I'd say we can count on our running attack being, a little bit more varied than it was last week because David Montgomery is expected to suit up. I don't know how full of a participant that he'll be. So now we have people trying to confuse me. Logan says he's questionable. Luke says he's doubtful. Get your information together and try again, please. But I don't know how much we'll be using David Montgomery to try to pound the line because he is trying to recover from an injury. So I wouldn't see Dan Campbell and the coaching staff putting Montgomery in a position where he could get even more severely hurt. He might be playing a limited snap count tonight, according to the injury report from yesterday. Amon-Ra going off tonight. I think it could be another night for Justin Reynolds, to be honest, because Amon-Ra's still playing with a toe issue. Josh Reynolds, they had him limited and mostly used as a decoy on Sunday for plays. I think they were giving him extra time to heal up, because the only time I ever really saw him in action, it looked like they were trying to use him to fool people on a screen. And that just completely fell apart. You could see that his mobility was limited during the game. The word Andy Herman, a Packers beat writer, used for Jair is unlikely. All right, now we're getting into specificity of language. Hooray. Fantastic. So, if anything, I feel like this could be a very evenly matched, but a very close game. I would say in the area of 22-20, or maybe 21-19, something like that. Because once again, division opponents, they are going to play each other hard. These are the games that matter most as far as the season goes. And whoever is on top, I think that's going to be decided by turnovers. As long as we don't hand it off to Marvin Jones again. Let's see. Confirmed out is Jason Kabinda and Matt Nelson and Vitae. Reported out Emmanuel Mosley. Yep, figured that much. Montgomery and Taylor in, and Taylor Decker in. Jonah Jackson and Kirby Joseph are still unknowns. Meanwhile, confirmed out is Bakhtiari. Yeah, I heard about Devondre Campbell, Elton Jenkins. That is a big off for Green Bay's line, not only because of how good Jenkins is, but his flexibility, being able to go to any spot on the line. Zane Anderson as well. And unknowns are still the states of Carrington Valentine and Zach Tom. Cornman thinks that the Lions will win 31-13. I appreciate the optimism, Cornman. I hope that at the least Wisconsin's playing Nebraska this week, right? Is that the next game for the Packers? Let me. Come on. Oh, yeah, there it is. Way down in the month of November on Monday Night Football, October 9th, Packers Raiders. Damn. Logan thinks they're saving Jair from Monday night. That is actually a good point. That is a very good point. And Bakhtiari for facing Max Crosby. It's Michigan that plays the Huskers. Ooh. Yeah. Well, Zach Tom was already a backup for you, right? And then he ended up hurting himself. Yeah, so we both got some banged up parts of the offensive line. It is going to be a rough game. I am equal parts scared and excited for it. He broke through and is not the starting right tackle. I already acknowledged it, Logan. You know, I'm worried about Jared Goff getting run over by Rashawn Gary repeatedly. I just hope that there are plans in place for that. And is now the starting right tackle. Gotcha. Really? You got accepted. Congratulations, Cornman. Always good to see people making progress up the tree of academia. Oh, yeah, that was what I wanted to check. The other games of the NFL schedule, so I can give my thoughts briefly on all of them. Okay. First of all, big thank you to everybody who told me to put in Matthew Stafford instead of Baker Mayfield, and look who got more points this weekend in fantasy football. So I have no choice but to root for the Colts over the Rams, if only because I believe right now the Colts are doing better with Gardner Minshew than the Rams are with Matthew Stafford. Ravens versus Browns. Oh, that game is going to be so awful. It's so ugly. Between the Browns defense and the Ravens players, all of them turning into Mr. Glass. Falcons Jaguars. That one could be fun. It could be a great get-right game for the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, prey on the Falcons for a little while, but can they stop Bijan Robinson and the run? Vikings Panthers. That's an 0-3 matchup, isn't it? Ugh. Yeah. Thoughts on Chris Sims saying defenses should look to kill Jalen Hurts on tush push plays? Uh, that's, you know what? Best of luck with that. I want to see them stop the butt shuffle, which is what I'm calling it from now on, without injuring Jalen Hurts, particularly at a moment when it would hurt the team the most, no pun intended. Say, in the NFC Conference Championship. You want the Rams to run all over the Colts in India? I'm not sure if they'll let you. Pain is not to be feared, merely serves as a reminder that we are alive. Yes, we are technically alive. Absolutely. Oh, Bengals Titans, that one just feels like it's going to be a mess. Especially with Joe Burrow still recovering. Oh, Buccaneers Saints. Oof. Dolphins Bills, just prepare for an air attack, all-out war. Josh Allen hurdling everybody and dragging his team across the finish line. Broncos Bears, I will be streaming that game. And I will be streaming it all the way through. I would recommend you not watch the stream because I'm pretty sure that I will be in a great deal of pain. But actually, let's make sure that I'm actually going to get the game. Because sometimes they do funny things with the broadcast maps. And depending on the setup and the schedule, sometimes they carve my area into the Green Bay games. So let me make sure that I can actually get you a, oh, I can. Oh, I can. And it's going to be painful as hell, folks. You know why? You know why? Oh, because on the call for Denver at Chicago, which will be shown throughout Michigan and much of Wisconsin and Iowa and Illinois, Andrew Catalan, Tiki Barber, and Mr. 28-3 himself, Matt Ryan. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, putting Matt Ryan in what is potentially the most awful game of the year. Poor dude, getting back into a different role, someplace where the people aren't constantly reminding him of the greatest moment of pain in his professional career. Although that seems to be, business as usual when it comes to the NFL. So I'm just whistling in the wind here. So far, MLB playoff matchups, there aren't really any that are fixed right now. I'm looking ahead at the MLB schedule. The only fixed teams right now in all the wild card games upcoming are the Phillies and Brewers. They're not playing each other. They don't even list who they're playing. So there is a lot to still be grabbed. Yeah, that's what I read, Logan, that after that announcement of the 3-team trade that involved Lillard and Holiday and all the other players that I hadn't heard of going to the Suns and the Heat occasionally. Yeah, that the odds of the Bucks winning the NBA championship went to 4-1. And the AL West may still be up for grabs, but truth be told, MKI, I feel at this point that the AL West is Houston's to lose. They are a game and a half ahead with very few games left on their schedule. Let me see. They're currently at 158, 159. Seattle has played 158. So Seattle's got 4 games left. Houston has 3 games left. If Seattle loses 2 games, they're screwed. They're done. And with their upcoming schedule, playing against the Rangers, who have decided to be in a, we'll call it jovial mood. Oh, oh, that's bad. That is 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. The Mariners finished the entire season against the Rangers. Oh, that's awful. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Ishi. Ask a question. Uh, the Rangers seem to find specific points when they want to be competent just to anger everybody who wishes they would go away. In other words, I have no idea why they're still in the race. They seem to have made the same deal that Toronto made to get into the wild card. Now, best of luck during Lions-Packers tonight. Oh, thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate that. It is going to be a bundle of nerves, but I will get through as best I can. Well, yeah, Rangers Mariners. Rangers are just the Rangers, and Seattle's been trying to get back into relevance, but at least I think Seattle and Cincy can take pride in the fact that both their teams did get back to the point where people had to pay attention to them or acknowledge that, hey, they've kind of gotten their act together again this season. So, Mariners and Reds fans, yeah, it sucks that you didn't make the playoffs, but considering how you zoomed it back into the wild card race this season, and you're not, and you're still being, and you still don't have the E in your name in the official MLB wildcard standings, I think y'all done pretty well this year as well. The Chandler Jones situation. Okay. Oh, Cordman, sorry. Is somebody trying to... Can you give me an actual link, or if a mod can find a link and put it in there? Chandler Jones on a non-illness injury list. MKI says he thinks he went to a mental health facility in Vegas. All right, That's fine. And honestly, that dude sounds like a smartass who was looking to get his name in the paper and try to do a rehash of the Wrigley Field goat thing. All right, All right, so here's the thing that alarms me. The first, big news story that's shocking thing, New York Post. And the New York Post is, when it comes to actual, legitimate, grounded, truthful news. So I'm a little bit doubtful about him posting a bizarre video crying about Raiders coach and Aaron Hernandez. Yeah, and TMZ. So let's look at ESPN. So this is from a September 26th, 2023 story. That is 2 days ago. Meanwhile, all the New York Post TMZ misery wanking shit just came out in the past hours. I did see that about the USFL and XFL to merge. I give them 2 years before the whole thing falls apart. All right. He wrote a social media post Monday night. He was taken to a hospital against my will by the Las Vegas Fire Department and then later transferred to a behavioral health facility last week. Oh, damn. This is... Okay, this is a problem. He has been away from the team since Labor Day weekend when he began a series of social media posts aimed at the Raiders, owner Mark Davis, general manager Dave Ziegler, and coach Josh McDaniels. Apparently, his first day out of the facility was Monday, attaching journal entries plus a statement of patient rights from the Seven Hills Behavioral Health Hospital in Las Vegas, highlighting sections of the documents he believes were not followed by the facility. Five to seven Las Vegas Fire Department officials, Jones said in his journal entries, came to his door and told him he had been put on a court hold by the Las Vegas Police Department. They tried to force him to take meds and an injection. He called Ziegler 6 to 7 times asking for help, but never answered. And Las Vegas Fire Department refused to comment. They reached out to the police department for a comment. The Raiders have repeatedly referred to this as a private matter and declined further comment. This is all right. I gotta organize my thoughts a little bit here. I understand, True North. Thank you for dropping in. I believe Saskatchewan has won at least one home game, Cornman. I don't believe I was able to catch it, but I think it has happened. So has Edmonton, by the way. Because we already have abysmal mental health treatment in this country. We're still recovering from the fact that we just used to lock the mentally ill away and not actually treat them. Oh, you didn't, Ishii. This is something, honestly, that can relate to a lot of issues when it comes to teams versus players, owners versus players, and also the health care of players for what is an inherently dangerous sport. And I apologize for bringing this up, but I don't think it's so much of him going full A/B. Right now, I think he might be trying to go the Junior Seau route of trying to bring attention to something that is an issue. Now, if you remember Junior Seau, former linebacker for the Chargers, the way he died, he unalived himself, but he did it in a way so that his brain could stay intact, and he wanted it to be studied. And essentially, they found that he had massive CTE and swelling in his brain. I'm not sure what's going on with Chandler Jones and the Raiders. I just kind of assume that Mr. Davis and Josh McDaniels are essentially cashing their checks, eating at P.F. Chang's while the team burns to the ground, and trying to figure out how they can get a decent payday out of it. I'm very sorry for Davante Adams that he is stuck there and Derek Carr is gone. He does get to play closer to his family, but at what cost? Chandler Jones and Max Crosby. Two great defensive players who ended up getting paid, and then now they're stuck in this situation. And all the Raiders fans who just watch the team fall apart as promise after promise goes unfulfilled, and they throw away Rich Bisaccia for, yeah. for somebody to try to get Tweedledee and Tweedledum, essentially, in one coach. Randall Cobb said leaving Houston was like getting out of prison. At the time when, if I remember correctly, he was still there when Bill O'Brien and what's his name, Easterby, were still mucking up the entire team. So I can understand why he said that. The way that they have things lined up right now seems that they're actually working on executing a solid turnaround if they, can just keep their rookie QB long enough to do so. Oh yeah, I heard that it was all posted to Twitter. I'm not going to look at it at the moment because I'd like to keep some level of optimism about the human condition and that, our professional football teams aren't putting our players into such positions where they have to be worried about their mental health. Because let's be honest, it is a physical sport that people are essentially causing themselves to get into slow speed car wrecks with each other, building up microfractions and, causing their brains to shake repeatedly over and over again for the course of years. I mean, at least for the Radium girls, they were able to keep themselves alive long enough so that people could see them in court with their jaws falling apart after they spent years painting radium on watch dials. The CTE thing, we've only just been able to scratch the surface of the injuries played by full contact gridiron football. And if we can get anything positive out of this Chandler Jones situation, I hope that it can be a better focus on mental health issues for football players, especially ones that are caused by constant contact and concussions. Yeah, exactly, MKI. We have people retiring at the age of 24 because of the repetitive head injuries that they suffer in these sports. The odds that they will do it, though, I think are very slim because that would cost money. And why spend it when we could be, keeping it? It is how the rich stay rich, by not spending their money. And yes, that is something that I did not expect would happen, that one, the Dolphins would start the season undefeated, but get close to breaking a season record in 2013 of 606 points in a season that was set by the Denver Broncos. Incredible. What I will say for all of you, and I give you this warning, as much as you may like the fact that the Dolphins are having success right now, you better root for them to lose a game. Because the Dolphins have been hanging on to that undefeated thing for years. And if we get another undefeated season out of the team and it's the Dolphins again, oh, they are going to be insufferable. Absolutely insufferable. And we will never, ever hear the end of it. Former players will be popping champagne up to Super Bowl 86 at this rate if we let them go undefeated again. Meanwhile, we have people glorifying hospital hits on defenseless receivers. The shitheads are at it again. And also, so you know, both Annie Agar and Urinating Stream are still proliferating the lie about the FBI raids on Hallis Hall and Alan Williams' home. So, fuck both of them. I don't care if they're doing it in the guise of jokes. The fact that they're putting it in there for a cheap punchline, it's just hammering it into people's heads even more and making it a fact of life when it's not even a fact. But at least we can take comfort in the fact that somewhere in the world right now, in some country, on some field, a batter is being called out for leg before wicket. And honestly, I think that's about all that my brain can manage to spew out during the day today. Yes, that's still going on, Ishii, but hopefully it will die soon. That is going to be it for Ass Talk today. Meanwhile, Brewers have added more players off the 60-day injured list for the playoff runs. We are reaching the point in the NFL season where we will soon know how the teams really are, good, bad, or meh. As for me, I'm Jim B. This has been Ass Talk. Thank you, those of you who showed up and maybe accidentally dropped in, for being here, for chatting, for spreading the information. I'll be back tonight for the Lions versus Packers at 7:15. Take care until then.